listening to Achtung, Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
Welcome to my back garden, dear listeners. Apologies in advance if you hear any urban sounds or passing crows or sounds of, not quite the countryside, but you know what I mean, kind of general hubbub. But it's quite nice to get a bit of fresh air whilst we hand you our Monday morning addendum extra edition. We've had a little bit of extra content. We recorded the show on Saturday in the immediate aftermath of that disappointing, in the end, 1-1 draw. After we'd actually made the show, I've got some voicemails from Harry, Graham, Lionwall, and a Skype message. I'm going to run the voicemails from H, from Graham, and the Skype voicemail for you now.
Achtung, Millwall.
Well, good morning, dear listeners. I've given it a night's thought before sending my voice note, so it won't make the Saturday show. This will be pre-Fulham or post-Fulham. What can I say about yesterday's performance? I mean, it was Gary Rowett in a nutshell, wasn't it? I've sung his praises in the squad that he's built, because I do think the squad that he's built is a very good side. I think the signings of Saville and Afobe are positive signings. But it's like when you watch, I don't know, maybe MasterChef, and you get all the lovely ingredients, and you get all the lovely, best quality food and stuff, and we've got, I don't know, one of the Chuckle brothers cooking the recipe. I don't know, football moves in cycles, and I feel like there's a fascination at the moment of playing five at the back and everything. That works if you have ball-playing centre-backs, and all right, we do, but then you've got to give the ball-playing centre-back, you've got to play the ball to a midfielder that's got vision and ability to see a pass. And, last season I was very critical of Ryan Woods of playing the ball backwards, sideways and not forward. And people would say, well, we don't move enough for him up front. The thing is, we don't move at all. The midfield three yesterday just were on a constant circle of one of them becoming the base of the three and walking around, whether that was Clifton Bell Evans or Saville. And it doesn't work because teams work it out. The fact of the matter is that we are over-reliant, as Scalak or Mike Hayden said. We are over-reliant on Scott Malone and Jeb Wallace. We don't give a Afobe service. We're signed to Afobe. It wouldn't matter. Millwall could have Ronaldo, R9, Ronaldinho, or fucking Messi up front, and we still wouldn't give them the ball when they needed it, because we just haven't got a midfielder that will do what they need to do to give him the ball in the right time. The one bit of quality in the game we score from, what a ball by Ballard, what a ball by Malone, and Jed's run into the box there for the tap-in. Beautiful goal, beautiful football. But that's the one bit of quality in 90 minutes. It's not really good enough, is it? It's the biggest budget Millwall have ever had. Biggest budget Millwall have ever had. And we've created one chance at home at the Den. Now, it's only the second game. We haven't been defeated yet in any competition, including the Cup. All right, it was against lower league opposition. So I do say this with caution. But we haven't kept a clean sheet either in any of those three games, and we're playing five at the back. I thought the defending for the goal was stupid, for lack of I'm very naive. Clifton Bell on Brereton Diaz, but I won't call him that, is Ben Burr, and he's not from Chile. I don't understand how he's playing for Chile, but there we go. Why is he marking him? They've got two strikers on the bench, and we've got three centre-backs. Why isn't one of them with him? It's simple. It's do your job. Mark the players that are a threat. Your centre-backs should be going up in a one-on-one. And if they can't do that, why are they first-choice centre-backs? It's just frustrating. It's just very frustrating. People tell me we've made progress. The league table has not told me we've made progress since we sacked Harris. I know you can't turn around and compare the two, but you can only compare of what we're doing right now. And, we want to show a little bit of ambition. We've shown ambition in the transfer market. It's now time to be a bit more positive on the tactical front. And, you can play two different systems. I feel like we're playing negative football away from home, and I kind of get that with a counter-attack inside to it on the break. And then we at home seem to play the same system and it doesn't work. You know, I'd like us to maybe play 2 systems. We do have options, you know, to bring on Matt Smith again and just lump the ball onto him is mental. And yeah, just all in all, I thought we were very, very predictable, very, very poor, crying out for some creativity, and we need to sign some creativity in the transfer window. So all in all, disappointing, but not overly crushing. And maybe disappointing is because I wanted us to win our first game back at the Den. It was lovely to be back, but also it was the same as it ever was, the same as it ever was, the same as it ever was. Anyway, on to Fulham Tuesday night. Who knows what will happen? I can see us getting beat 4 or 5-0, or I can see us winning 1-0. I don't know. Probably the tactic to play against Fulham is to play like the away side, but I don't know if this Fulham is the Fulham that was the Fulham that went up, if you know what I mean. No Scott Parker now. I haven't seen a lot of Fulham, so I don't know how they're playing. Obviously, Mitrovic will be the big threat, and we'll go from there. Arrivederci Millwall.
Just thought I'd give you a quick overview of the games we've played so far. Yes, there has been some encouraging signs. I like the look of Ballard. Great ball he gave Malone yesterday for the goal. And the Phobie up front, he looks like, you know, he's going to be a player that suits us. But the major issue from last season, the lack of creativity, to me still hasn't been addressed. The only chance we created from open play yesterday, we scored from. But, you know, if we want to progress and have a good season, then, you know, something's got to change. We can't carry on the way we're going about it, whether that means we have to try and bring someone in or change the formation, which I don't think Gary Rowett's going to do. Evans, to me, is not a midfield player. He's not a defender. He's just a squad player. That probably explains why he's not played that many games in his career. I would drop him out for Tuesday and bring Leonard in. And this will hopefully allow Saville to play further forward. It would give us more of a goal threat. Yeah, let's give that a try. Anyway, on to Fulham on Tuesday. Come on, you Lions.
Hello, Nick. Trust all is well. Speaking to you after the Blackburn Rovers home game, the morning after. I can't help but feel a little bit optimistic, really. I don't think we were fully at the races, but we look very solid. The back five especially, very impressive. It's just whether Saville's been signed to play that number 10 position. I don't think he's the answer. Personally, I think you need to play him alongside another midfielder like Keith and Bird, and bringing someone that will actually score goals, like a Smodics type player at Peterborough. But yeah, roll on Fulham. Cheers, Nick. Bye.
Achtung, Millwall.
Welcome back, dear listener. I hope I really enjoy the voicemails and the Skype messages. Do send me, if you have my mobile number, do send me any immediate post-match thoughts. It's always welcome. Really enjoy it. Big thank you to Graham and Harry, and for the Skype call, which I believe is from a chap called Mabia. I can't pronounce it. Strange game Saturday. Reviewing the statistics after the game, Gary Rowett referred to the number of shots that we had. 15 on target, 2 on target, of which we've scored once. And he says what a frustrating game it was. That pays tribute to the setup of Tony Mowbray and his Blackburn side. With the benefit of 48 hours worth of reflection, they were a very hard-working side. That we should have had enough about us to break that Blackburn side down, and Rowett actually makes reference to that about not being able to open up the Blackburn defence. I'd really query what role Conor Mahoney's going to have in this side, if any, because I would have thought that would be the ideal situation for him to come in on Saturday. He didn't come in, and we just seem to lack inspiration. I also want to pay reference, if I can, to an article that I saw in the Football League show, the Football League newspaper at the weekend. A column by David Connolly, who's a former EFL striker and TalkSport pundit apparently, and talking about the importance of the wing backs, Scott Malone and Danny Mack, on Saturday, and their importance to the side. The goal obviously came from a cross, a decent cross. So it was a ground-based cross rather than flighted from Scott Malone. I do think that we're suffering a little bit from an inability to beat the first man on our crossing. Obviously, Benik, as many have said, was feeding on scraps because of the quality of the service. If we're not beating the defence, which we weren't, largely speaking, then it's going to be very difficult to open sides up. Good article in the Football League paper by Connolly. Really is analysing the crucial nature of the wing-back style under Gary Rowett, and obviously the importance of Malone and McNamara. I just want to read out also London News Network, which is a very good website. I used to favour News at Den largely, but I'm increasingly looking at London News website, which was once upon a time known as the South London Press. They've done 4 takeaways. This is by Dan Marsh, good journalist. Big shout out to Dan. Talking about 4 takeaways, four items to take away from that showing on Saturday. He picks out Jed Wallace. Jed still delivers is his headline here. Wallace is so often the star man, poking home the 64th minute to break the deadlock. Up until then, Dan says he'd been anonymous against Blackburn. I don't know about that, Dan. I think I would say that Jed maybe wasn't at his most inventive best, but he's always part of the. He's a crucial factor in our side, isn't he? Dan also goes on to pay tribute to Dan Ballard, the youngster in defence. I like the look of this boy. He does have physicality and elegance, and that he seems to have that extra touch of something. Whether Wheel can be able to sign him at the end of the season remains to be seen, but really liked him. Dan calls it a composed display on the right-hand side of the Mill defence. I hadn't realised he's a Northern Irish international as well. Good performance. And of course, it was his diagonal pass that led to the cross for Malone and the goal. Benik is still waiting to strike, says Dan. That's true. The early sights on the on-loan Stoke man looked promising. I really liked Benik's. Obviously, goals will come when they come. Strikers go through dry spells and awkward phases, and I really liked his desire. You can see he really wants it. He was geeing up the Coldblow Lane end at one point in the second half, and we're attacking that way. And I think that one goal will be the spark that gets the fireworks show going for Benik. And finally, that is deja vu all over again, as Yogi Berra, the old baseball coach, would have it. The Lions have now surrendered the lead in both of their league games. Yes, they have, Dan, and that is indeed worrying. We can't keep doing that. If we're going to get in front, we'll be feeding on scraps. 15 shots, but anyway, we'll be feeding on scraps. Only 2 were on target, so we will be feeding on scraps up front. If we get ourselves in front, as we have done twice, then we've got to maintain that. So yeah, good article by Dan Marsh there on the London News Network, the 4 takeaways. I just wanted to, before I close, read out 2 pieces. One sent to me on Twitter from Tony Monday, always controversial tone. I do like this piece though. He's given himself 24 hours to reflect on Saturday's game. Tony says, we didn't play too badly at all. Rovers sat back and didn't leave space for the wing backs. Just to interject there, I thought as irritating as I found him, that Brereton Diaz was a very, very good player. He was in our faces, and that's possibly what we need to start to be ourselves going forwards. Take a leaf out of Brereton Diaz's book, as irritating as I found him anyway. Jed tried to make things happen, says Tony. but was often blocked out. Ballard, I thought, took far too long. Criticism of Ballard from Tony. Took far too long to pass the ball into Evans or Afobe's feet, especially in that first half. I think if Hutch plays, they wouldn't have scored that goal. It was a soft goal, very, very frustrating equaliser. Afobe is clearly not up to match sharpness, says Tony, but he worked his bollocks off and will come good once he gets a goal or two. I agree. I do agree with that, Tony. Tony thinks we'll be better against Fulham, who we know will come at us and will leave those spaces for us to move into. When we click in a few weeks' time, we'll be a very good side. It's best set of players we've had for a very long time. And he also name checks Murray Wallace, who played well Saturday. Murray. Going to be an interesting. I think we do need a win. We need some goals. Fulham on Tuesday going to be a huge test. 5-1 winners at the weekend at Huddersfield. They will be in high expectation of doing well this season. So big test at the Den. We're going to need to be on our game. Possibly a good game for our counter-punching style. We shall see. And finally, just to close this little addendum edition. Message from Doug, two messages actually via WhatsApp, one at the weekend, one today. Doug in Stockholm, big shout out to Doug. Poor goal to let in, says Doug. Yes, I think that's true. We had a lot of the play, but he doesn't remember their goalkeeper making a save. Hopefully more to come for this team, and one day wrestling our players to the floor in the box, we might get a penalty. Malone just shaded man of the match. I think Malone probably for the on the cross. I like Ballard. I know Tony was critical of him. I like Ballard on Saturday as well. Doug also continues in a separate message. He enjoyed the pod. It's nice to be back. It was strange to be back, listeners, to be honest, doing that, speaking into the phone during the course of the game. I haven't done it for a long time. And it's one of these things that you kind of get back into. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know. Doug liked my Frank Spencer impression. I had a little bit of trouble. It's one way to put it, I suppose. Nearly died, but there we are. During the summertime, a little bit of trouble. For all the slagging of Evans, George Evans has been taking a bit of a pounding online. Tony's message there generated quite a bit of reaction. Doug thinks he's an improvement on Woods. I do agree. I mean, Woods just didn't fit our tempo, as they say in the Whiplash, the movie. He was not our tempo, Ryan Woods. I hope that the midfield does sort itself out. I wouldn't slag Evans. I just think he did a job that was possibly not what the members of the jury of the Den were wanting to see on Saturday. Last season, with Hutch out, we had Pearson, but now we've got Wallace. Both are better. Both Evans and Murray Wallace are better than what we had last season, says Doug. And hopefully the team improves. Amen to that, Doug in Sweden. A big thank you to that, to Doug. So there we are. That's a little addendum. As I say, I do like to include the content that gets sent to me. So I'll probably do more of these little Monday morning addendum, whether it be from my back garden or not. Apologies for any passing traffic or birds. It's quite nice to be in the fresh air. We'll be back on Wednesday in the post aftermath glow of whatever happens against Fulham on Tuesday night. Do keep those voicemails coming, 0208 144 0232. Do send me any WhatsApp messages. If you've got my number, send me a voicemail, send me a message, whatever you want to include. If you want my mobile number, get in touch with me via the Twitter. Send me a direct message. I don't want to put the number out there, as I keep saying, but I don't mind if you're all right. If you're all right, I don't mind sending you my number. You know what I mean by that, listeners, don't you? Big thank you to listening to this little addendum show. I hope you enjoy it. I shall be back in the week, and also speaking to Neil Fissler tomorrow with a special historical show. I hope you're going to enjoy that. That'll go out later in the week. We'll be back on Wednesday with the post-Fulham analysis. Thank you for listening to Achtung Millwall. My name is Nick Hart. Arrivederci Millwall.
You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.